there, I am Bonnie McCaffery, and thank you so much for coming back again this month for another VidCast. And I am here with my friend Esterita Austin.
Bonnie, you can call me Terry.
Oh, I can call her Terry because we're good friends, and I do call her Terry. And once you become friends with her, you can also call her Terry.
You can call me Terry anyway, it's okay.
Yeah, but when you're looking at her website and you're looking for things about her, she's listed, her professional name is Esterita Austin, so it sets her apart a bit. And Terry is very good at doing dimension. In her quilt, she has this incredible ability to achieve her quilts have so much dimension, they look like you could walk right into them.
Well, thanks, Bonnie.
How do you achieve this dimension? How do you make that happen?
Actually, I think there's a couple of parts that are really important. The first part to me, if I'm working from a photograph, is to create a photograph that has a really good strong light source and creates really good darks. The second part of working with really getting dimension is the fabric choices, which I'm going to talk about. So the next thing I do generally is I'll take a piece of freezer paper and I will put it on top of my photograph with the shiny side facing the photograph and the dull side up, and then just trace right through. You can generally see your photograph. And that being said, I have a template here that I've drawn using a Sharpie marker just to outline the
shapes.
The shapes. So I'll take that chalky side and I'll put it facing my fabric. Whoops.
I'll take down. Okay.
Facing the fabric. And I will put my freezer paper on top, my template, and I'll pin it just to keep it registered.
Okay.
Take a ballpoint pen and pressing hard, I'm going to just go around and trace the outline once again.
Okay.
And when I do that, what the transfer paper will have done is make a tracing.
So you're going to cut out your pieces and put them down on top of this.
That's right.
Okay.
This is the back of my quilt. And if I'm doing 300 pieces, it's really
300 pieces?
400, 500.
Oh my God.
It's really important if I'm doing that many pieces to really transfer the entire design to a background so I know where everything goes, because you can get lopsided in no time.
I'll bet.
2 pieces is no big deal.
100 pieces?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Just a few.
Right. So put this aside. The next step I'm going to do is choose my fabric. Now, the fabric choices when creating 3-dimension is extremely important. What I like to do is choose fabrics that have multi-values to them. I'd like to choose a fabric that has as many lights and darks and mediums as possible, but also as many colors as possible. They don't necessarily have to be brights, they could be muted, but the more colors I find in a piece, the more layers, the more depth is achieved. Okay, so what I would do is maybe I'll take 2 pieces of fabric, or 5 or 20, and layer them up
just
so
a few.
I have choices.
Yeah.
Because, Bonnie, in life, we never pick the first man that comes along. Never pick the first pair of shoes that come along.
We're going to date our fabric.
It's not a bad idea, but we're certainly going to have some fun with it.
Good.
So, and that's one thing we can do with fabric, and we won't go any further than that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the template that I have done on freezer paper, and I like to use a it's not a rotary cutter, but it's
not.
It's a little flatter. An X-Acto knife to cut out my templates. And what will transpire.
And of course, you're going to be as careful with that X-Acto knife as you would with a rotary cutter, because it is just as sharp.
Yes, Bonnie. Okay. She's been on my case all day, but
I have.
Never mind. Okay.
You wait till you see what she does with a rotary cutter. She's not safe.
So now I have.
Sure you do.
Yes. Now I have right here. Okay. Now what I have is a hole in my template, and I'm going to use this rather than the template to cover over my fabric, because if I do that, I don't know what's underneath.
Right.
I want to see where my lights and my darks are. So I'm going to use the empty space in my template to gauge where my lights and darks are. Oh, I like that so much, I might say to myself. And I would take the template and replace it in that spot and pin it in place. Now, of course, again...
So you're going to cut this one out?
No, Bonnie. We need to look around and make sure that we're really happy, because there's another piece of fabric you're waiting just beneath. Now, maybe that one's better. I might like that a little better. So, goodbye. We'll take this one off here, and then this comes over there. And I maybe keep going And not just from piece to piece, but from all around the fabric, because every time I move it, I'm going to get something different happening in a different
Right.
section of the fabric.
Wow.
So let's just say I'm going to take that.
Okay.
Then I'm going to take my rotary cutter.
Do you
And-
iron this in place? Not yet?
No, not really.
Okay.
That's just an extra step I have to do. And then we're going
Rotary cutter.
Rotary cutter is right here. I knew where it was the whole time.
I see.
And you can see that the safety latch is on right now. I'm going to pull it down so it is now revealed, making sure that I'm safe. And what I do is I will cut around the template about 1/4 inch, but I don't want to do that now because it makes Bonnie nervous when I use a rotary cutter.
Did you close that blade? It's an absolute miracle. She closed the blade.
Yes.
It only took me 10 times of telling her close the blade, because rotary cutters are a great tool, but you've
Well,
got to
20.
really respect it.
Okay. So here I've already cut the fabric just about 1/4 inch in excess around the template. The next thing I'm going to do is take my fusible, and this fusible is very light.
Ah, this is beautiful.
It-
And it'll stick really well.
It sticks very well.
What's it called?
It's called Misty Fuse, and the reason I like to use it is because it doesn't have added adhesives, because I paint on my work, and when I paint on it and it gets moist, the piece is released from the background, and this does not do that
Oh.
because it really adheres well. It's
Great.
a very nice, strong fusible. So I'm going to put my template with the fabric on top and release the blade. That's why I don't release the blade. And I'm going to cut right around exactly the same size as the fabric, not altering it
Exactly.
one bit. Exactly.
Does it have to be perfect, or
It has to be so perfect you can't see even that much fuse sticking out.
you have to cut it better than that?
No. Okay.
You
so-
don't have to. Oh,
No.
You don't. Okay.
No, I nothing I do is terribly neat.
Okay.
So this is.
So it
you know,
doesn't have to be absolutely
No.
exact. Okay. I just
I
wanted
was
to be
just-
clear.
I
So.
was just joshing.
And I was believing her.
I know. Well, that's why we're friends.
But I'm getting you the scoop. And now, you know what I'm going to tell you? Sorry. Take a look at your rotary cutter.
It's closed.
It is not.
It is. See.
She lies.
Okay. So now I've got my fusible web, my fabric, and my template. And what I'll do is take a piece of parchment paper.
Oh, okay.
And this parchment you can buy in the supermarket. You just have to make sure it's got silicone on it. You can also use a Teflon sheet, which will do
Okay.
the same thing. And then I'll take my iron, nice good hot iron, right on a cutting board. It's not
It is
on.
not on. You want it on, not on a cutting board. You want it on your ironing surface.
But if it were, it would adhere to the back of the fabric. And what I'm going to do now is take this and trim it right to the edge. So now I have this cut exactly to the size of the template. I'll take the cartoon that I've done earlier, and I'm going to put this right in place. But now we're ready to do the next piece. The next thing we're going to do is take this original template, put it right back where it belongs. Then what I'll do is take the second template, cut it out with an X-Acto knife, and then get my fabric back here.
You like this one? You like this one?
Oh, I'm not so sure. Let's try this one. And now that I have this fabric here, what I'm going to do is take my fabric back and see how they look together. So
That is so cool.
I can start building with a full idea of how one piece is going to relate to the other. And
Wow.
I might like something like that. Because what happens now is when that dark hits that light, you're going to get a separation of planes, and it's going to become dimensional.
Wow.
It's all about light and dark hitting each other. The lightest and darkest value, one comes forward and the other goes
Right.
back. It depends what size each object is.
Wow.
Foreground or background.
Tell me about this villa.
Okay.
Where is this?
This villa is in Tuscany. It's near Florence. And every year we take a group of American students over there. And quilters, painters, we do plein air painting. We do a beautiful studio for quilting. And we have the kitchen there. We have cooking classes. So some of the women bring their husbands or sisters or mothers.
That's so
and they
cool.
cook or they do plein air painting. And we have dancing every night and partying and wine drinking
Oh,
for those
my
who drink
gosh.
wine. And we make some very nice quilts of the Italian landscape and cities. So everyone gets a choice of which pattern they like, and some people bring their own work to do.
Yeah. Oh. Now, does that sound like fun? How many days is this?
It's 8 days from beginning to end. It's 4 days of workshop. And we have to spend a day in Florence, unfortunately, going to the Uffizi and getting a tour. And
As long as
you
you're going to
know.
be there. Now, I want you to think
we
about
also
this.
go to Siena,
Wow.
which is really with the jewel of Tuscany. Beautiful
Yeah.
place.
Now, just think about this. You fly to Italy. You go to this absolutely beautiful villa. You get to spend all this time with Terry, who is a lot of fun to be with. And you get to pick her brain and learn her techniques for creating these
Now,
incredible
Bonnie.
quilts. Wow. I think I want to go.
Hey, come. It'd be great.
It would be great.
Yeah.
It would be great. Oh, absolutely wonderful. And they can find different information about this on your website,
Oh,
right?
absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
that's great. Yeah. What are some of your workshops that you teach?
I teach creating the illusion of depth, which is working with light and dark and varying sizes. We do a one-day class working with a still life, and we paint it and create a three-dimensional still life. That's a painting for illusion class.
Right?
I have rock, wood, and water, where we deal with objects in nature and create depth in landscape. So I've been teaching 4 and 5 day classes in portraiture and having a lot of fun with that.
And I saw some of the student work. Oh my God, it is incredible. Large faces. I noticed in
Yeah.
those that you're doing faces larger than life, which is not something I usually do. I like to keep them smaller.
Yeah, these are huge.
These are huge, and the student work was incredible.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to take a workshop with Terry Austin, or Esterita Austin, as you will see it listed, you want to take a workshop with her. Let me ask you one more interesting question. What's your life philosophy?
Is this like inside the actor's studio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My life philosophy. The thing that sticks out in my mind is before my father died, he was a very stern man and took life very seriously. And if you have something to do, get it done. He said to me, which the words I will remember over all other words was, have fun. Have fun with your life.
Terry,
Yes,
Esterita
Bonnie?
Austin. Terry, I want to thank you so much for doing this with me today. It has been a blast seeing how you actually achieve this incredible dimension, and to get to see your quilts in person is great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Bon.
And thank you all for coming by and seeing what we have. I hope you'll come back next month and see what we have for you then. Thanks for being with me.